Fueling long runs and ultra marathons doesn't need to be complicated, but getting it wrong can turn an easy day out on the trails into a survival mission. Now, most ultra runners underfuel, they fuel too late, or they rely on foods their gut simply can't handle. And today I'm going to give you a simple science-based backed fueling system that you can use on your long runs, and you can also adapt for ultras. So you can stay strong, avoid the crash, and actually enjoy the miles. I'm Max. I coach ultra runners from first timers to experienced athletes, and fueling is one of the biggest performance boosts that you can make. You don't need it to be complicated or have complicated spreadsheets or expensive products. You just need a clear structure and a bit of practice and a strategy that works for your gut and your race. So let's break it down. Part number one, why fueling long runs matters. So your body only stores a limited amount of carbohydrates, which is your main fuel source for running. Once those stores run low or they've gone, you don't gradually fade, you hit a brick wall. Fueling early and consistently keeps your energy stable, your effort controlled, and your long run feeling smooth instead of a death march. But ultras add extra layers and dimensions. You've got flavour fatigue, you've got gut tolerance, heat, cold, altitude, aid station spacings, what food is actually available at aid stations, how much you should be carrying, and how many hours you're out there on the trails. And if you don't practice this, then your race day becomes guesswork. And guesswork is the last thing you want in a 50k, 100k, or 100 miler. And that's why you need a system. So looking at part two, the simple 3-part fueling system. So this is a really useful framework that I often use. It's simple, flexible, and grounded in research. So number one is to know your numbers. Let's start with the science simplified. Calories, a realistic starting point is around 250 calories per hour. Some athletes go higher, some go lower, but 250 is a safe, practical baseline. So let's talk about carbohydrates, which is going to be your main fuel source. Anything up to about 3 hours, and you want to be targeting 30 to 60 grams of carbohydrates, and 3 hours and above, around about 90 grams per hour. Now, if you're using gels or carb drinks to hit that 90 grams per hour, or just generally to get easy calories in your shorter training runs, then make sure you use a 2-to-1 glucose to fructose blend. This uses both gut transportation pathways and reduces gastric issues. So most ultra runners do not hit 90 grams of carbohydrates per hour. Many sit around 40 to 70 grams, but the closer you get, the better you'll feel. Now, when thinking about protein, you want to be aiming for around about 0.25 grams per kilogram per hour to reduce muscle breakdown. Fat is one of those things which you don't want too much, but you can just have it as tolerated. Fat can definitely help, but it can digest slowly, so you do need to test it in training. So key point, the numbers are just guidelines. Your gut ultimately decides what is possible. So number two, choose the right fuel for the right distance. Not all fuel is equal, and what works brilliantly in a 90-minute run might fall apart in a 10-hour ultra marathon. For shorter long runs, up to 3 hours, you can rely on quick, easy carbohydrates. That's your gels, chews, carb drink mix, jelly babies, or similar sweets. They're super fast to absorb, easy to carry, and they require almost no chewing. Perfect when you're moving well and you don't want to break rhythm. However, for longer runs and ultras, you're likely to want more substantial foods, especially on the longer events, because your stomach gets tired of sweet gels and you need variety: sweet, salty, and savoury. So real food can help settle the gut. You also avoid flavour fatigue, and you maintain energy without feeling sick. Think potatoes, salty potatoes, pretzels, wraps, broth, rice balls, bars. those sorts of foods, what's been tried and tested, what you're motivated to eat, are the sorts of things that you might do. I always quite like to chuck a pot of noodle in my drop bag, especially if I know there's going to be hot water at an aid station. So gels in training, yes, but you do need to be smart about it. Training with gels is important because your gut needs to learn how to handle them. You want the familiarity on race day. You want to know which brands and which flavors work. But gels can be expensive and you don't need them for every long run. A good approach is to use gels on key long runs, mix in cheaper real food options on easier days, rotate flavors to avoid palate fatigue, and practice with a carb drink mix if you're going to be using it in your race. Carb drinks, they are brilliant because they give you fuel, often electrolytes and hydration together, and they are easy to sip regularly. They reduce the need to chew and they can be easier on the stomach, but again, practice is everything. Number 3, build your food tiers. This is the one of the most powerful tools for ultra runners. Tier number 1 is your go-to foods. 3 to 5 foods you absolutely love, tolerate well, and you can eat for hours. Now, these should include something sweet, something savoury, maybe one engineered fuel like a gel or a chew, and one real food. Tier number 2 is your backup options. Foods that you've tested and tolerated, but you don't want all day. Tier number 3, safe unknowns. Foods that you haven't tested, but are similar to tier 2. Useful at aid stations. And then you've got your off-limit foods. Anything you dislike or you know upsets your stomach. So a key point is variety does prevent flavour fatigue, which is one of the biggest reasons ultra runners stop eating. And once you've stopped eating, you can pretty much guarantee that your race will fall apart. So number 4, your stomach is a muscle and it does adapt like other muscles in the body. So practice, practice, practice. Eat on the move, eat in heat, cold, altitude, things specific to your race, eat different textures of food, drinking whilst running, eating at aid stations. Race day should never be the first time that you try something. So part 3, the race day strategy. Here's how to put it all together. Before the race, slightly increase carbs, reduce fats and proteins. Lay out your food tiers that we've just mentioned. Check the aid station spacing, but also check what is available. Pack what you know works. During the race, start fueling early. Within the first 30 to 40 minutes, aim for 250 calories-ish per hour and hit your carbs consistently. Use your tiers to avoid flavour fatigue. Adjust for heat or cold. Eat small, often and calmly. And after the race, keep moving for a few minutes. Get warm, eat something small and familiar, and celebrate because you have earned it. So to close, fueling long runs and ultras is not about perfection. It's about planning, practicing, and adapting. If you know your numbers, choose the right fuel for the right distance. Build your food tiers and train your gut because you'll be able to then fuel confidently no matter the terrain or the duration. So drop a comment and tell me what is your go-to fuel on long runs, and if you want coaching or help building your own personalised fueling plan, get in touch via my website or Instagram. Thanks for watching.